Welcome to the deep dive. We're so glad you're here with us today. Our mission for this one is, well, we are exploring this really fascinating tug of war in contemporary photography.
Yeah, it's a massive debate.
Right. It's all about how art should capture reality. Like, should a photograph make you feel peaceful, or should it deliberately provoke you?
Exactly. And to figure that out, we're relying on a really comprehensive essay today by Hilde van Gelder.
Yeah, it's called The Shape of the Pictorial in Contemporary Photography.
It is a brilliant piece of scholarship. She takes all this dense art theory and just grounds it right into the physical reality of how we, actually look at images.
And the hook for all of this, the core visual trick we are examining today, is this concept called absorption.
Absorption, right.
It's an old painterly tradition. Basically, it's when the subject of an image is just completely immersed in their own world. They are totally unaware of you, the viewer.
Completely oblivious.
Yeah, oblivious to the camera, oblivious to the construct of the picture itself. And we are going to look at two master photographers who use this exact same absorptive trick, but they achieve just like totally opposite results.
Jeff Wall and Allan Sekula.
Exactly. So, okay, let's unpack this. We have to start with how absorption is used to create this perfect autonomous work of art, right?
Right. And that means we start with Jeff Wall. He is sort of the master of this classical neo-realist style.
So what does that actually look like?
Well, let's look at his masterpiece. It's called Morning Cleaning, Mies van der Rohe Foundation, Barcelona.
Oh, I have the image pulled up right here.
So describe what you see.
Okay, so it's this gorgeous modern architectural space. And it's early morning, so the room is just flooded with this dramatic, beautiful, warm sunlight.
Yeah, the light is incredible.
And right in the middle is this guy washing a massive window. But he's completely ignoring the sunrise. He is entirely focused on the laborious rhythm of his squeegee.
He doesn't care about the viewer at all.
Not at all. It kind of reminds me of, watching a stranger deeply engrossed in a book on a train.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
You become this invisible voyeur. It feels magical, honestly. But Wall isn't just snapping a lucky candid photo here, is he?
No, not even close.
Oh.
Wall is reconstructing what art historians call a tableau.
A tableau.
Yeah. It's this philosophy of picture making where you create a single, unified, highly composed universe. Everything serves a central harmony.
So it's not a documentary photograph.
Well, Wall calls it near documentary.
Wait, near documentary? What does that even mean?
It means it's a highly controlled digital reenactment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he takes multiple straight shots over a long period, and then he uses Photoshop to just seamlessly unify those exposures into one immaculate frame.
So it's an illusion.
Total illusion.
Whoa.
Wall famously hates getting water in his camera. So in Morning Cleaning, every single drop of water,
You're kidding.
every sudsy bubble on that glass is mapped out and digitally controlled. He wants absolute control.
That is wild. It's like visual auto-tune.
Yeah.
Taking 5 vocal takes, slicing the best parts together and pitching them so it's impossibly perfect.
That is exactly what he's doing. He's elevating the everyday into the realm of the pleasurable.
Because it feels so peaceful to look at.
Precisely. He wants to give you what he calls a moment of instant peace. And what's fascinating here is that the digital manipulation is the actual engine for that peace.
Right, because real life isn't that perfectly balanced.
Exactly. But Wall uses absorption to give us that peace and beauty. But, what happens when an artist believes the world actually isn't peaceful?
Right. What if creating a neat, unified picture feels like a lie?
That is where Allan Sekula comes in. He shatters the tableau with this vernacular or critical realism style.
Let's look at his piece, The Getty Gardener. Because on paper, it sounds just like Jeff Wall's window cleaner.
Right, you have a worker deeply absorbed in a task.
Yeah, he's clearing brush on a steep hill, and he is totally ignoring this massive, gleaming Richard Meier Getty Center right behind him.
But the feeling is entirely different. Wall gives you soft morning light. Sekula, he hits his subject with a really sharp fill flash.
Yeah, the lighting is harsh.
And look at what the gardener is wearing. Heavy protective gear. A mask, sunglasses, leather chaps.
It looks hot and sweaty.
It is. There's a fire hazard. There are rattlesnakes in that brush.
Yeah.
Sekula actually likened this gardener to a sapper clearing landmines.
Wow. Okay, but let me play devil's advocate for a second.
Sir?
If Sekula's images are messy and they deliberately lack that beautiful, balanced unity, are they, failing as art, or are they just doing a different job?
They're absolutely doing a different job. Sekula uses a strict documentary approach. He said point blank, Photoshop is of no help here.
So no visual auto-tune for him?
None. He wants to capture live time.
Yeah.
He isn't making a single melancholy tableau like Wall. He says he's making a disassembled movie.
A disassembled movie, so it's about the sequence, the struggle.
Right. And he even forces the viewer to struggle. Think about his multi-image installation called Shipwreck and Workers at Documenta 12 in Kassel.
Oh, the notes on this are crazy.
Yeah, he placed a triptych of a sinking cargo ship literally inside a pond.
Wait, inside a pond?
Inside a pond. And to see the rest of the scattered panels, viewers had to make this strenuous, exhausting physical climb up a steep hill.
Here's where it gets really interesting. He's making you physically labor just to look at images of labor. It's the total opposite of Wall's instant peace.
Exactly. He wants you to feel the exhaustion.
You know, this whole debate, the polished, perfect tableau versus the gritty, disassembled documentary, it feels so modern to me. Like Instagram grids versus unfiltered photo dumps.
It does feel modern, but this is actually a 400-year-old art feud.
400 years.
Oh, yeah. We could trace this right back to the late 16th century to the Flemish Paragon debate.
Okay, take us back there. Who are the players?
So on one side, you had the Romanist painters, like Franz Flores. They favored the classical style, Italian Renaissance ideals, perfect decorum, harmonious proportions.
So basically Jeff Wall.
Exactly. Wall aligns perfectly with his lineage. And so did later classical painters like Poussin, and even critics like Baudelaire.
Right. Our notes say Baudelaire absolutely hated the ugly realism of peasant paintings.
He despised it. He thought art should be beautiful and harmonious. But on the other side of this feud, representing the vernacular style, was Peter Bruegel the Elder.
Bruegel. Okay, I know him. He painted, like, rough, ragged peasants, right?
Yes. He deliberately painted anomalies, disproportionate bodies, knobby knees. He wanted to show the gritty reality.
So he's the Allan Sekula of the 1500s.
Yes, and Van Gelder draws a direct line between them. Look at Bruegel's famous painting, Landscape with the Fall of Icarus.
Oh, where the farmer is plowing his field in the foreground.
And he's completely ignoring the tragic fall of Icarus drowning in the sea right behind him.
Oh, wow. That maps perfectly onto Sekula's Getty Gardener. The gardener ignoring the massive Getty Center behind him.
Right. Sekula even explicitly described his laboring subjects as the angel of history disguised as Bruegel's peasants.
That is so cool.
He even uses Bruegel's trick of using disproportionate figures. In those panels from the Kassel installation, the one up the steep hill, there's an image of a mother and a midwife.
What's wrong with their proportions?
The mother's hands look huge compared to her premature baby, and the midwife's arms seem to span the whole length of the newborn. It's a deliberate visual anomaly.
Just to break up that classical perfection, so for you listening, think of it like this. Wall is a perfectly tuned, classically composed studio album where every note is digitally perfected.
Right.
And Sekula is the raw, gritty, live punk recording where the amp feeds back and the mistakes are left in because that's what reality sounds like.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this stylistic choice matters to you because it dictates what the artist is telling us about society.
Okay, so what is Wall telling us? Because some of his stuff is actually really dark.
It is. Take his piece, Dead Troops Talk, where dead soldiers are coming back to life, or The Flooded Grave.
Right. How do those create peace?
Wall reacts to the fractured world with irony and what's called reduced laughter. He turns the profundity of the ocean into a closed-off subterranean world in The Flooded Grave.
So he contains the chaos.
Yes. His arc spirals inward toward the art system. It aims to reflect serene social relations even when the subject is incredibly dark.
So he builds a safe little terrarium for the viewer, which means Sekula must do the opposite. He spirals outward, right?
He spirals violently outward toward the world. Look at Methane for All or Barceloneta Swimming.
What happens in those?
He shows Frank Gehry's famous architecture in Barcelona, but he shoots it from the water so it looks like it's sinking.
Wow.
And he points out the violent explosiveness of the methane gas piped right under the sea there. He wants you to see the danger.
And he isn't sitting in a dry studio using Photoshop.
No, he takes his camera to the extremities. He's literally wiping the corrosive salt water off his lens as he shoots.
The physical process matches the message. So what does this all mean for you? When you look at photography today, whether you're in a gallery or just, scrolling on your newsfeed.
Yeah, you have to ask yourself.
Right. Ask yourself, is this image designed to pacify you with its beauty? Or is it trying to point to a dangerous, explosive reality just outside the frame?
It's a crucial question for how we consume media.
Absolutely. So just to quickly recap our journey today, we explored the tradition of absorption, We saw how Jeff Wall uses it to build a classical, peaceful tableau.
while Allan Sekula uses it to create a physical, strenuous critique of modern society.
Echoing a feud that literally started with Bruegel 400 years ago.
This raises an important question, though, because art historian Michael Fried noted that this whole tradition of absorption subjects ignoring the viewer, it hit a massive crisis in 1819.
Wait, 1819, what happened then?
Jericho painted the raft of the Medusa.
Oh, the shipwreck survivors.
Exactly. The sheer visceral horror of that scene made it impossible for the viewer's presence to be ignored. The subjects were starving, dying, basically screaming out of the canvas for rescue.
They couldn't afford to ignore the viewer. They needed help.
Right. And think about our modern world today. We are dominated by selfies, direct-to-camera vlogs, constant eye contact through screens.
We live in an aggressively anti-absorptive era. Everyone is looking right at the camera, right at us.
Exactly. And so the provocative thought I want to leave everyone with is this. If the subjects of our images constantly refuse to ignore us, and they are constantly demanding our attention and our engagement,
Have we lost the ability to simply observe and reflect on the lived time of others?
and we lost that magic.
Man, that is a powerful thought to end on. Thank you so much for joining us on this custom deep dive. It's been incredible.
It's been great.
See you next time.